Let's go ahead and begin. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. Let me introduce some of the people who are with us. I will be saying some opening remarks. I'm then going to turn the microphone over to the superintendent of Stockton Unified School District Schools here, John Dacey, and I'm going to allow him to say some remarks. I have with me Michael Newman, who is the head of our section that deals with some of these investigative matters when it comes to civil rights and constitutional rights enforcement. I believe that Chief Johnson will be standing with us, and I suspect she'll take questions if some are directed at her, but I know that she is with us as well. And there may be other remarks made by folks if you direct particular questions to us. But I think Superintendent Dacey and I are going to be, for the most part, making opening remarks. So let me begin by thanking both the superintendent, who is here with us. Special shout out to Mayor Tubbs and his team, and certainly to Chief Johnston and the men and women of the Stockton Unified Police Department. I want to say a great deal of thanks for coming together today to help us make our announcement. It is important for us to move forward because as we continue to celebrate yesterday, Martin Luther King Day, we all remember and we all dream, and it's good to do so. But at the same time, as we celebrate MLK Day and think about how far we've come as a nation, I think it's also essential for us to soberly recognize how far we still have to go in pursuit of that ideal that we think of with Dr. King. Here in the Stockton Unified School District, we're marching together forward towards fair treatment and opportunity for all the students who attend Stockton Unified Schools in this area, regardless of their race and regardless of their disability status. That's really what today's announcement is all about. You see, over the last few years, the Department of Justice investigative team has been examining the Stockton Unified School District, its oversight of its police department, and the department's policies, procedures, and practices towards its students. The focus of our investigation was to determine whether there were civil and constitutional rights violations here at Stockton Unified. We reviewed how the district utilized the police department. We reviewed how officers interacted with students on school grounds. We reviewed when school administrators referred students to law enforcement authorities. Our investigation found some troubling practices. We found that due to the lack of clear policies, administrators often requested police assistance with minor disciplinary infractions. For example, when students refused to switch classrooms or were disruptive in class. Sometimes these minor incidents ended with the use of force or perhaps arrest. We found discrimination against students with disabilities. When students acted out due to their disabilities, they were at times referred to law enforcement. We found that law enforcement referrals had a disparate impact on African American and Latino students at Stockton Unified. Actions like these lead students to begin to go down the wrong road. And it also leads the school towards criminalization of minor misconduct, which can result in long-term negative consequences. We're all too aware of the intolerable school-to-prison pipeline. Today, my team and I are here with Stockton's leaders and the leader of its school district and school district police department to announce that we have reached an agreement with the Stockton Unified School District to make substantial changes in the operation and oversight of the school district's police department. This settlement provides a comprehensive 5-year plan to address the findings of this investigation and to protect students here in Stockton. With today's settlement, Stockton Unified School District is required to put into place clear policies and procedures with respect to how and when school administrators refer students to law enforcement. They distinguish between minor incidents that can be safely and appropriately handled by school staff and those incidents that are more serious and may result in criminal acts that should be handled by law enforcement. The district is creating a formal diversion program to address minor school-based offenses, aiming at keeping students out of the criminal justice system in the first place. The district will also hire a trained disability coordinator to work with the school district police department to ensure compliance with disability anti-discrimination laws. All officers will be specially trained on childhood and adolescent development and bias-free policing, among other training requirements. The district will also ensure that all officers are trained in crisis intervention to handle calls that relate to students in mental health crisis. We're confident that this settlement will provide needed changes that help young people in Stockton stay in school and out of the criminal justice system. We appreciate the cooperation of the Stockton School District, all of the people at the school district, and certainly the police department and its chief. We appreciate the support of Stockton's leadership around the city, and we appreciate the work that has been done by so many people to take us to this point. All of that is being demonstrated by the people that are standing here today. We have a long way to go in California, and of course around the country, to ensure equal opportunity for all students in all aspects of education. We have a long way to go to break the cycle of discrimination, but we are committed to getting there together, working to build a school-to-college pipeline for all of our students and the students of the Stockton Unified School District. I am pleased now to turn the microphone over to Superintendent of Public Schools here in Stockton, John Dacey, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Welcome also to Stockton. Particularly grateful to have our Attorney General here, both someone I admire in his role and as a leader in the state of California. And we're glad you're with us together to say exactly what you just did, and that is this is a community that is deliberately and consistently and persistently committed to having every single solitary student graduate college, career, and community ready. We take the notion of lifelong learning, not lifelong punishment, dead serious. That is why we proudly join in this joint effort to continue the course of work that we've done on the improvement of opportunities for students with the dedicated professionals. The district and its school board relies on the professionalism and the dedication of its police department and all the individuals who work in our police department to help keep our students and our administrators and community members safe while they're in school. And we believe that this mission of a reformed police department is our commitment looking forward. We think a lot about Stockton now and Stockton then. This inquiry, like the Attorney General said, began a number of years ago and looked at the data at that point. The data looks different today, and that is a joint effort in examining what was pointed out and our commitment to do better. That is why we stand here united around that piece. Our approach and the changes that we have made and have committed to continue to make are about the security of our students and our staff and the notion of our responsible policing inside of our community, along with deep community engagement around this issue. Our department, police department, and the district have initiated dialogues that have brought to the forefront the modifications that we as a community agree to and will commit to. This is not an announcement to others, but this is actually an announcement with others as we have begun to undertake the changes that we are now committed to and the ones further that we actually have announced inside of our agreement. The data that is already showing that this is actually the right and positive steps. Our suspension and our expulsion rates are down statistically in a dramatic fashion. in the most recent couple of years. Our student attendance is up significantly. Our long-term student absences are down substantially. You can't graduate college, career, and community ready if you don't stay with us around that. The district and I, in my obviously short time here, concerned about students when they make a serious misstep. And we have announced very early on this year that we ended the practice of if a student needed to face the consequence of expulsion, of leaving the district and going to a county program. That also has ended. We have opened our own school, and students stay with us through the consequence for their misstep and continue. The agreement provides our police department and our site administrators with the opportunity to continue a comprehensive professional development that is about an equitable learning environment for all students. We take disproportionality dead seriously around here and have every intent on making sure that that data does not look like it did a number of years ago. We also take concerns around our community seriously. Hence, there is a big component to this agreement around a community group that helps continue to look and examine at our practices, provide us feedback on those, and stand up as an entire city around best practices. This is not just, however, about our police department. This is also about our administrators and our schools. And the practices of minor infraction assistance with the police belongs where it always has belonged, with the principal and the assistant principal. And then if and when a student makes a significant misstep, as the Attorney General mentioned, that is criminal. That is when we call the men and women to appropriately take steps around that. This agreement assures compliance with the law. This agreement ensures extensive, enriched professional development, again, not just for our police department, but also for the individuals who work inside of our schools as well. It's an implementation of best practices for our department, and I think the piece that I'm most proud of is that it's an implementation of innovative approaches to thorny issues that districts around the state and the country also continue to face. Stockton intends to be a place of leadership around the issues of justice for young people. And we look forward to being able to provide those exemplars in the future. And if we just take a look at the last 3 years, the actual bookings and citation infractions are down more than 41%. These represent less than 1% of the total student population, but it doesn't matter whether it is 1 student or 2%. You want that actually to be the most just and appropriate way to handle that. I want to personally thank every member of our police department and our civilian staff who also work there for being leaders and standing up collectively for what is right and just, and for the hard work ahead in terms of continuing to establish exemplars for both California and the nation. And I also want to obviously thank the board for having passed and supported the policies that have been and will continue to be implemented. And I say not lastly, but I say firstly, I want to thank our chief, who is a stunning example of both professionalism, care, concern, and a person that anybody could look to and say, I would want to be a member of a police department if I could act like her or have her show care and concern for my child. And I thank you for that very much. I'll close by saying that I suspect that the Attorney General has had a long history. I have had a long history in education. Most times these aren't conferences where people stand side by side. Most times these are documents served across a table that, as we know, rarely serves young people. So I thank you for being side by side with us. I thank you for the difficult and good conversations so that we stand forward and lead what's right.